Welcome to the Repertory East Playhouse. This is MMX, the 2010 season. January 22nd to February 20th. Lost in Yonkers by Neil Simon, winner of the 1991 Pulitzer Prize and Tony Award. Lost in Yonkers is a coming-of-age tale that focuses on brothers Artie and Jay, left in the care of their grandma Kernitz and Aunt Bella in Yonkers, New York. Grandma is a severe, frightfully intimidating immigrant who terrorized her children when they were growing up, damaging each of them to varying degrees. Bella is a sweet but mentally slow and highly excitable woman who longs to marry an usher at the local movie house so she can escape the oppressive household and create a life and family of her own. The boys are left to contend with Grandma, with Bella, and her secret romance with Louis, her brother, a small-time hood in a strange new world called Yonkers. March 12th to April 10th. On Golden Pond by Ernest Thompson. This is the love story of Ethel and Norman Thayer, who are returning to their summer home on Golden Pond for the 48th year. He is a retired professor nearing 80, with heart palpitations and a failing memory, but still as tart-tongued, observant, and eager for life as ever. Ethel, 10 years younger and the perfect foil for Norman, delights in all the small things that have enriched and continue to enrich their long life together. They are visited by the divorced, middle-aged daughter and her dentist fiancé, who then go off to Europe, leaving his teenage son behind for the summer. The boy quickly becomes the grandchild the elderly couple have longed for. In the end, as the summer wanes, so does their brief idyll, and in the final, deeply moving moments of the play, Norman and Ethel are brought even closer together by the incidents of a mild heart attack. Time, they know, is now against them, but the years have been good, and perhaps another summer on Golden Pond still awaits. April 23rd to May 1st. The 81 series, 12 Angry Men by Reginald Rose. First of the 81 series, this drama depicts a jury forced to reconsider its nearly unanimous decision by the single dissenter who sows a seed of reasonable doubt. The story begins after closing arguments have been presented in a homicide case, as the judge is giving his instructions to the jury. As in most American criminal cases, the 12 men must unanimously decide on a verdict of guilty or not guilty. The case at bar pertains to whether the young man murdered his own father. The jury is further instructed that a guilty verdict will be accompanied by a mandatory death sentence. These 12 then move to the jury room, where they begin to become acquainted with the personalities of their peers. Throughout the deliberation, not a single juror calls another by his name. May 21st to June 19th. The Wedding Singer, music by Matthew Sklar, book by Chad Begelin and Tim Herlihy, lyrics by Chad Begelin. In The Wedding Singer, it's 1985, and rock star wannabe Robbie Hart is New Jersey's favorite wedding singer. He's the life of the party, until his own fiancée leaves him at the altar. Shot through the heart, Robbie makes every wedding as disastrous as his own. With a brand new score that pays loving homage to the pop songs of the 1980s, The Wedding Singer takes us back to a time when hair was big, greed was good, collars were up, and a wedding singer might just be the coolest guy in the room.
Line dance, follow me. Love is what I
do. July 9th to July 24th.
Reach out, touch faith.
The 81 series, The Last Days of Judas Iscariot by Stephen Adley Gurgis. Set in a time-bending, darkly comic world between heaven and hell, The Last Days of Judas Iscariot re-examines the plight and fate of the New Testament's most infamous and unexplained sinner. The Last Days of Judas Iscariot tells the story of Judas. While in purgatory, he he litigates with his lawyer for entry into heaven. The play uses flashbacks to an imagined childhood and lawyers who call for the testimonies of such witnesses as Mother Teresa, Caiaphas, Sigmund Freud, and Satan. August 13th to August 28th. The 81 series, Sideman by Warren Light. Set in 1953 and traveling to 1985, this lovely and poignant memory play unfolds through the eyes of Clifford, the only son of Gene, a jazz trumpet player. For Gene, who knows jazz better than his own son, music is not just his job, it's his life. Clifford narrates the story of his broken family and the decline of jazz as popular entertainment. Gene's music career on the big band circuit ultimately crumbles with the advent of Elvis and rock and roll. When an adult Clifford visits Gene in a rundown jazz club after years of separation, he requests that the old man play his mother's favorite song, the old standard, "Why Was I Born?" Clifford then asks, "Dad, why was I born?" It becomes Clifford's last, heartbreaking plea for his father's love. September 17th to October 16th. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, adapted for the stage by Jeffrey Hatcher. A new and shocking version of Robert Louis Stevenson's classic tale of depravity, lust, love, and horror. On the fog-bound streets of Victorian-era London, Henry Jekyll's experiments with exotic powders and tinctures have brought forth his other self, Edward Hyde, a sensualist and a villain free to commit the sins Jekyll is too civilized to comprehend. When Hyde meets a woman who stirs his interest, Jekyll fears for her life and decides to end his experiments. But Hyde has other ideas, and so the two sides battle each other in a deadly game of cat and mouse to determine who shall be the master and who his slave. November 12th to December 11th. Amadeus by Peter Shaffer. Winner of a Tony Award for Best Play, the Academy Award for Best Film, and triumphant in recent revivals in the West End and on Broadway, this provocative work weaves a confrontation between mediocrity and genius into a tale of breathtaking dramatic power. In the court of Austrian Emperor Joseph, Antonio Salieri is the established composer. Enter the greatest musical genius of all time, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Salieri has given himself to God so that he might realize his sole ambition to be a great composer. Mozart is a foul-mouthed, graceless oaf who has that which is beyond Salieri's envious grasp: genius. MMX, the 2010 season.